Hey everyone, and welcome. Today in this explainer, we're going to uncover a truly fascinating, super advanced technique called prompt mining. If you've ever felt like your AI model is just holding back the right answers, or if you found yourself totally frustrated trying to guess the absolute perfect magic words to make it work, well, this one is for you. We're going to explore how this highly data-driven method helps us extract factual knowledge from large language models. We are officially moving way beyond guessing and stepping right into the realm of hard data.
So let me ask you this. What if the AI actually already knows the answer, but you're just asking it wrong? I mean, we've all been there, right? We spend hours upon hours tweaking our prompts, relying entirely on our own human intuition to figure out the right phrasing. Basically, we treat the AI like a human conversationalist. But what if there was a systematic, purely mathematical way to literally speak the AI's language? Well, that is exactly the problem prompt mining sets out to solve.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the power of prompt mining, maximizing AI performance. So what is it? Prompt mining is a targeted technique to identify the absolute best prompt template for a given relation between a subject and an object, and it pulls this directly from a massive corpus of text. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that this is not some general all-purpose brainstorming tool. It's not going to help you write a better poem. No way. Instead, it's laser-focused on one specific thing, improving how large language models retrieve factual knowledge. And it does this by discovering the exact language patterns the model learned best during its original training phase. And this right here brilliantly illustrates the shift in our approach. First, we have human intuition. As humans, we might manually type, "The sky is blue because," and just kind of hope the AI fills in the blank correctly based on our conversational framing. But then we have machine acquaintance. Prompt mining completely replaces our human guesswork by finding the specific structural template, something like X is Y because, that frequently appeared in the model's actual training data. So we're abandoning what sounds good to us, and instead we're finding the exact structure the machine itself is already the most comfortable with. All right, moving right along to Section 2, structuring the process. Think of this next part as a two-part expedition. The whole prompt mining process is broken down into two very distinct, highly logical stages. Step 1 is prompt generation. This is where we extract a wide variety of potential templates from our raw material. And then step 2 is prompt selection, where we sift through those generated templates to choose the absolute optimal one based on hard metrics. It's this beautiful, systematic approach that uncovers the best possible way to talk to the AI. Let's unpack that first stage, Section 3, prompt generation. This is where we start extracting our templates. But listen, before we can even begin mining, we need an ore to mine from, right? In AI terms, this means we need a text corpus. This is a massive dataset. Think of something as incredibly vast as all of Wikipedia, or a huge repository of scientific research papers. The key, though, is that this corpus must be representative of the exact data the model was originally trained on. If you want to find the patterns the AI knows best, you literally have to go back and look in the material it read while it was learning to speak in the first place. So how do we actually extract templates from that massive corpus? Well, we have two common methods. First up is mining-based generation. This method looks directly at the text corpus and extracts raw syntactic relationships between a subject and an object. It's literally pulling out the connective words between them. Then, on the other hand, we have paraphrasing-based generation. This takes a slightly different route. It starts with an original manual prompt that you provide and then generates multiple variations to improve lexical diversity. To see that paraphrasing method in action, just consider this. If our original seed prompt is X shares a border with Y, the generation process might spit out paraphrased templates like X has a common border with Y or X adjoins Y. This is just a fantastic way to greatly expand our list of potential templates to test, all while ensuring that the core meaning remains entirely intact. Okay, we've got our raw materials. Now for Section 4, prompt selection. It is time to find the gold. To find that gold, we need a standard of measurement. And that brings us to a really important concept called ground truth. Ground truth simply refers to the actual correct facts or labels in a dataset that we use to evaluate a model's predictions. For example, if we're testing the relationship X is owned by Y and our test subject is YouTube, well, the ground truth answer is alphabet. So when we test our templates, we are measuring exactly how often a specific template successfully gets the AI to output that ground truth answer. So here is the crucial point. How do we finally declare a winner? We run our algorithm and we select the template that either has the absolute highest frequency of appearing in the text corpus or the one that produces the highest accuracy when tested against our ground truth data. The winning template isn't just the one that sounds the best to us. No, it's the one algorithmically proven to be the most acquainted with the target data. We are removing our human guesswork entirely.
Let's see what this actually looks like. Section 5, Prompt Mining in Action, a real-world example.
We're going to look at an experimental setup known as the manufacturer test. Basically, our specific goal here is to search the corpus for the absolute optimal template to connect a creator, which we're going to represent as Y, to their product, which we'll call X. Ultimately, we want the AI to reliably tell us exactly who manufactured a specific item.
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer variance in the data. After generating templates from a Wikipedia corpus, we score their frequencies. We see phrases that mean roughly the exact same thing to a human reader, but man, they have wildly different appearances in the AI's training data. For instance, he launched the X has a tiny frequency of 0.0040. But look at he introduced the X, it absolutely dominates with a massive frequency of 0.5940.
And here is the big reveal. If a human was doing this manually, relying purely on conversational intuition, they'd almost certainly guess a prompt like, you manufactured the X, right? I mean, it makes perfect logical sense to us. But the mathematically superior template, the one found through our rigorous mining expedition, is actually, you introduced the X. By using the mined prompt, we are speaking to the AI in a specific dialect it is most comfortable with, and that drastically improves its factual accuracy. Of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Section 6, the limits of mining. Let's talk about some trade-offs to consider. We've got to be objective here. Prompt mining has some distinct drawbacks that you must consider. First and foremost is the high computational cost. Mining through those massive text corpora requires significant processing power and time. It's a heavy lift. Additionally, the actual performance gains you get can sometimes be quite minimal, meaning that heavy lifting isn't always justified. And finally, if your task is highly specific or niche, using a broadly mined template can actually worsen your outcomes if it completely fails to align with the specific nuances of what you're trying to do. It's an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but it's not a magic bullet for every single use case. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Is the quest for perfect factual accuracy actually worth the heavy computational cost of the expedition? As you build out your own automated workflows and interact with these large language models, you're going to need to weigh that balance carefully. Sometimes, a bit of human intuition is just fine for the job. But when absolute factual precision is required, well, you now know exactly how to bypass the guesswork and mine for the gold. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning and exploring.